It's going to be efficient.
Yeah, we do need to be quite efficient with it. Right, go, pace, energy. Right, Alex,
Yes.
thank you very much for doing this. We have I've talked to you a little bit about the process, so you have some kind of understanding of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who's going to be watching this? This is just going to be our students.
Yep.
So everything you say will be broadcast to them. So don't say anything inappropriate. But it won't go outside UEL. So that's, you know, and then if afterwards you think, actually, I would rather nobody watch that, it's fine, that's your choice.
Okay.
You
I have the right to withdraw.
You have!
I'm still going to use the information.
But now I won't use the information because I can't anonymise it, so.
Okay.
Right, so you brought your CV along,
Yes.
and the process is going to be, I'm going to do a sort of 4-stage process, which really is designed to get you to think about what you want the CV to say about you.
Okay.
So we'll start off thinking about what's the job or what's the opportunity you want to use it for. What are they looking for in a candidate? What do you want it to say about you? And then we'll have a look at the CV and say, does that say the right stuff about you?
Okay.
Does that make sense, the process?
Yeah.
Right. So first of all, tell me a little bit about who you want to send that to. Who's that going to be for?
Well, I don't know if that's relevant. I was telling you before about that woman who wants to, is looking for coaching associates.
Brilliant.
So there could be her, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I said, you know, she needed like qualified coaches and apparently I'm
Yeah.
not yet. But if she's happy to keep my resume under until the end of the year, until I'm fully qualified, I guess, that could still be interesting.
Yeah.
If not with her, anything to do with career advice, I guess.
Okay.
If I could find some opportunities with that and send them my resume, I'd like it to, you know, be good.
Okay. For the purposes of the conversation today, let's pick one of those, because I think you might well want to end up sending a slightly different CV depending on what the job is and what the opportunity is. So let's pick one for today as an illustration. Which one would you?
Okay, let's go with career advice because that's something you could do right now.
Right. And for working for what sort of organisation?
Schools, universities, maybe.
Okay.
Like, education.
All right, go on, pick one for me. Let's narrow it down to the
Universities.
Okay, so working for a university
Yes.
career service.
Yes.
Fabulous. So if you sent that along, who would be likely to be reading it? Let's get a little picture in our minds of somebody at a desk reading your CV.
I'm not quite sure which service gets the resume.
So, but who would be?
I'm guessing it's not going to be, you know, the chancellor.
No, no, probably not.
It's not going to be one of those.
Who'd be likely to manage you? Who'd be likely to manage you?
Administration, maybe?
It could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, in my head, I'm thinking it would be probably the head of the career service.
Yeah.
I don't want to sort of push you down there if you don't think that's right.
I didn't know there was such a thing, so.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking in terms of like the different places I know around campus, and I can see the hub, but that's for students, so I won't go there. I know there is like a career employability service, so there could be someone around like in that field, but I thought that was for students going there. So maybe the chief of that service could be the one in charge of that.
Might be the person reading your CV if you sent it to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if they want someone for their
team.
yeah. So I'm assuming they're the boss of that team. So.
Right. All right. So does that feel like, are we happy to think about that that individual? So my starting point is, what do you think they want to see on a CV? What would impress them?
I'm guessing experience.
Okay, what kind of experience?
Career.
Yeah.
Advice. Because usually, you know, when you apply for a job, they usually ask for experience.
Yeah.
But I think my issue has been that they want experience, but they won't give you experience. So it's that circle, and you can't get out of it.
So if there's no directly relevant experience, is there any other kind of experience that they would be interested in?
Well, I guess I usually think in terms of what I've done and what could be relevant in that position. So like people skills, because I assume that, you know, when you give advice to someone, you need to be good with relating, rapport, and building coaching basically.
Yeah.
So I think some kind of proof in a way that you've done something that's related to dealing with people and interacting with them and showing that you're good with establishing rapport and working with people basically.
So a broad range of people skills, but in particular sort of forming relationships.
Yeah,
and then you talked about the coaching skills as well.
So like a bit of building trust in a way, because if they're trusting you with helping them finding a career, I'm guessing they need to trust your probably resume and how to write a cover letter. And you get to learn a bit about them and about their experience, so it's a bit personal. So you do need to be good with managing all that and the confidentiality and all those things as well afterwards. Okay,
so lots of different kinds of people skills. Any other kind of experience do you think they'd be interested in? Or sort of maybe transferable skills?
I guess if you know something about careers, like how about career decisions. Again, related to this course. So if you know about how people make decisions, you can probably help them a bit more in finding what's right for them. Although that's probably more coaching than career advice, but it's still transferable.
Absolutely, it's still relevant, isn't it?
So and I was thinking about like dealing with people again, but like cultural differences.
That's interesting.
Which to me is relevant because I think I can say, well, I can speak French. I'm from overseas and I've travelled in different countries all around the world, so I've been in contact with different cultures, so I can, I guess, I've got people skills in that area, I guess.
And that's quite a nice angle to the people skills, isn't it? That's something that sounds as though it makes you'll be different from some of the other applicants.
Yeah, if I want to try to make myself, unique and stand out, that's probably my angle, really.
Okay, so this person reading your CV is going to want somebody who's got a broad range of good people skills, including the coaching skills we've talked about, building trust, rapport, forming relationships, and this idea of kind of cultural sensitivity. As well as that, they'll be quite interesting in the notion of somebody who understands a bit about careers and how people make career decisions. Is there anything else you think they'll be looking for?
I'm guessing maybe something to do with like time management.
Okay.
Because if you get someone in for a 30-minute session, and if you keep going over time with all of them, then at the end of the day you're not really doing your job, I guess. So I guess that's probably important as well.
Time management.
So someone who's going to be, maybe, I don't know how much administration there is behind career advice, so if we need to keep, I guess, not tabs, but files on documents about, this person came in and they did that and we had this session. And
record.
Just record keeping, I guess.
So what sort of skills would you need for that? What would they be looking for?
Maybe knowing, how to use a computer. With the office bag. Usually. That
sounds good.
Good basic.
That's good stuff. Okay. Anything else? Or was that? No, there doesn't have to be. That might be plenty. I just want to get it out of it in there.
I think that's a lot already.
Okay, so we've got three kind of areas, haven't we? We've got the relationships or the people stuff. We've got the careersy stuff, and we've got the kind of organisational skills. Time management, administration skills. That's it. Okay. So thinking about those three areas. Let's think about you now and think about some of your experiences and what do you think is most kind of, what do you want them to know about you?
Well, I guess if I want the job I need to kind of stand out, be different from the rest.
Right.
So it's about selling what's different about me or what I think is different about me or special in a way.
And what sorts of things spring to mind when you think about that?
Well, what I said before, the fact that I'm from this tiny little island,
tiny little tropical island.
Yeah, tropical island. Really nice island compared to here. So I moved to Australia and I did a fair bit of traveling since I was a kid. So every year I go into different countries. So I've been to the US, Thailand, around Europe, different places, New Zealand, Australia, recently Peru. So yeah, I've been in contact with different types of people,
Yeah.
and I can mostly talk about my experience in Peru because that's one of the recent ones, and I was there by myself. So, and I was confronted with the fact that I couldn't speak Spanish when I arrived there. Like I only know, I guess, basic Spanish, and yeah, I was on placements in like an orphanage with little girls who could only speak Spanish.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you know, you had to learn
Yeah.
and make yourself understood. So it's like, even though I can't speak their language perfectly and they can't speak mine either, we found ways around this to make ourselves understand each other.
So, thinking back to the kind of the relationships, which is what you were saying was one of the really key things, that's such a great example of kind of, I can form relationships however hard it is, I can do it. That's lovely. Yeah. So what else, thinking back to kind of other things about you, what else might be interesting?
Maybe the fact that I've studied psychology in Australia before.
Yeah.
So that was all my undergrad course. So I do know about, I guess, different types of how people develop, all the psychology, like the cognitive psychology, like we've done all this, covered counselling. I'm not going to counsel people because I'm not qualified to be a psychologist, but it's just the fact that I know about those things, so I'm aware of how people work.
Yeah, brilliant.
So and the course I'm doing currently is also to do with career coaching.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about career theory this semester, which was really interesting in terms of learning more about how people make decisions, motivations as well. That was really interesting because that's usually what people get stuck with. So it's really good to get someone in and say, oh, here's my resume, here's my cover letter. But if you don't send it out,
absolutely,
you can't get a job. If you don't look for positions that you want to apply for, you're not going to get anywhere.
So there's something about a broad education in psychology which lets you understand a little bit more about how people work and how people develop, and then specifically narrowing it down to the career coaching course, where you've talked about how people make decisions and how to motivate people, and I'm sure you mentioned something else. We talked about coaching skills. I was wondering about that side of things. Do you think that's...
coaching skills what I think would be really good about my coaching skills is the fact that it's about trying to empower people, so I wouldn't tell them what to do. And that's usually what I think career advisors tend to do. Like the picture I've got in my head of them is that you go to them and you're like, okay, I've got kind of like a resume, kind of like a cover letter, how can I find a job? And they're going to give you stuff. And I don't think that's really helping people because, if they get stuck again, they're going to try and find one of those, someone like that again to help them unstuck themselves and give them options. So here's what you can do, and you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. So I think I would have a more coaching approach to their career advice and just tell people, well, what do you want to do? And make it all about them and give them back that autonomy of they're doing the hard work and they're coming up with their ideas, they're coming up with what they want to do, they're making all the plans to get to from point A to point B.
I love that idea of autonomy. That feels like a really powerful word in that. Yeah. Okay. So there's knowledge of careers. There's the coaching skills that you developed. There's the sort of almost kind of philosophical underpinning of trying to enable and empower your clients by giving them the autonomy. So that sounds brilliant. Anything else particular that you think your CV, you really want that to say about you that's going to be relevant?
I guess when I was in Australia, I volunteered in with an organisation, and it was they were working with people with mental health issues. But we got paired with people, and it was not about the mental health issues. Well, it was about, I guess, reinserting them into society, and they came up with some goals, I guess, and things they wanted to do, and I don't know, things they wanted to achieve. So I had this one time one woman who wanted to take ukulele classes. So it was about helping her find a way to get access to that and put herself back into society and find what to do. Another one who wanted to learn French, so I guess to me it was sort of like easy, like
I can help.
So I've helped people not specifically with their careers, but with helping them with their goals, I guess.
That's lovely, isn't it? So it's not directly career related,
Yeah.
but in terms of the process, that sounds quite similar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Anything else? No, you don't need to, again, it's just...
I have to find something every time you say that.
Not at all. You don't need to have thousands of key selling points. So what you said, Alex, what you said to me so far is you've got 3 main selling points, and I think that's probably plenty, but I don't want to stop you.
No, there was another one when I was my first or second year in Australia. I volunteered in a peer mentor program. So again, new students, we got paired with one, and we just like help them around, finding their bearings in this new environment. So that's not really careers related again, but it's about working in a new environment, which is basically what people do when they go look for a career. It's like they put themselves in a new environment, so you need to help them be sort of comfortable with that environment in a way.
So, okay, so we've got, what was the first one? The first one was about the people skills and the kind of cultural sensitivity and I can build relationships anywhere.
Yep.
We've got the careersy stuff, both in terms of the knowledge and in terms of the coaching skills. And then we've got the lots of kind of one-to-one experience of supporting people as they try and meet their goals.
Yeah.
2 different examples of that.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know how you feel about that, but to me that sounds quite a convincing package to offer an employer. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So what I want you to do now is have a quick look at your CV and tell me, do those 4 points hit you in the face as you read it?
No. No, they don't really. Well, technically there's another one. I worked at Euro Disney for small period of time as well, and that was more like customer service.
Yeah.
So, but it was again sort of related to helping one-on-one people, like they were asking me questions of where is this or where is that, and things like that. So I could still sell that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. That could. That sounds relevant.
Yeah, there was another one again in Peru where I put that I worked in the zoo, and again there was some people skills involved in that. We worked as part of a team, even though it was like a really small team, but we had to become autonomous. Actually, that's another point maybe in career advice. It's about not having your boss having to be over your shoulder all the time. So I think that one is interesting in that from that perspective, that the first time I arrived there, they're like, okay, so basically, during the morning we're going to be cleaning the path, feeding the animals, putting the cages out, putting the turtles in the cages, and doing this and that. And as time went by, I just rocked up in the morning and I was doing it automatically without having to be told what to do.
So to me, I hear a link back to, do you remember when we were talking about what they're looking for in a career service? And one of the 3 things was your sort of admin skills.
Yeah.
And that feels like something that would go quite neatly within that section. The sort of, I can work on my own initiative. I can be autonomous.
Yeah.
What were the other 2 things we said that they wanted for? They wanted the people relationships and they wanted knowledge about careers. That was the second one, wasn't it? And then the sort of admin skills. Yeah.
And if you think in terms of admin skills and the pack office, as a student you learn to use Word a lot.
You do, absolutely. Typing speed improves.
PowerPoint, let's do a presentation today about.
Yeah, okay, brilliant.
So
what would you need to do to your CV to make some of those really key selling points about you stand out better?
Can I add some colours?
Yeah, of course you can add some colours.
Really?
What do you think?
I don't know, it doesn't look really professional. I'm not sure in terms of if I was applying for a creative position. I would expect that if my resume would need to be really out
all
there.
Singing, all dancing, almost literally. Yes.
It's like a moving paper. But to get something to do with career, I guess it's not the best idea.
You prefer to stick to the black and white, the classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about putting a photo on it. I don't know what the rules are here.
What's your view on that?
I don't really like it.
Okay.
I just feel like it's not a dating site.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not dating someone. It's
Yeah.
you're you want them for a job, not for go out with them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, rather than meet me in person, or this is just a piece of paper and they can get whatever from it.
Okay, so I'm going to push you again. And what could be a way to make these points stand out for you?
I don't know, maybe define more, like be more specific, like, because basically the way I've done it is, when I talk about the volunteering I've done, I put the organization I worked with and when I did it, and then underneath I try to sort of like talk a bit about what I've done.
Okay.
But maybe if I change that short description and made it more tailored to that job position and said, this is what, like, the skills I was using in this that are kind of related to.
Brilliant.
I guess.
I think that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, you were talking about the example of the zoo, and I guess they're not at all interested. My guess is that within the higher education career services, they're not terribly interested in your winning way with a tiger. But the fact that you can work autonomously probably is interesting to them.
Yes.
Is that the kind of thing you're thinking about?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like highlighting what skills I was using that could be transferable to that position.
Yeah. So the kinds of things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What about this kind of the way it's structured, the kind of sections that you've got? Do they feel like they're selling you in the best way possible?
I never really know in what order to put them in. And I had this idea at first. I wanted to put my name at the top and just write like a sort of little paragraph about myself.
Yeah.
And
have you done that? Is that how you started it?
Not on that one.
But you like that idea?
Yeah. Usually I do it with if I'm applying for a specific job, I'll try to sort of tailor that little paragraph to that specific job in a way.
So if you were going to do a little paragraph about this particular job, what would go in there for you?
Something like well, I don't want to. There's that thing about what everyone is going to put in that thing. I'm really reliable. I'm a team member. I'm all that. No, it's not really my point. I'm trying to sell myself in a unique way, I guess. In that paragraph. So it's about saying something like I'm currently studying career coaching, looking to get more experience in working with people and helping them find the best suited career for themselves. Offering that autonomy. Things like that, I guess.
So maybe some of the things that we talked about in terms of kind of your sort of
I could I guess highlight the fact that I think what you're looking for this job is people with admin skills, people skills, and that skills. And I can do all of that because this, and here's my resume to prove it in a way. In more depth what I've done.
Now, what do you think about that as an opening paragraph?
I think that'd be pretty because it's the first part you're going to see on my CV. After my name, if you read that, you want to keep going. Yeah. To learn more. So,
and I love that. I like that idea that in that paragraph you're almost doing the hard work for them.
Yeah.
Aren't there? You're kind of saying, listen, you want somebody who knows about careers. Well, I'm studying careers.
Yeah.
Aren't you? And you're making that very easy for them.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a good opening paragraph. What will come next?
Address, telephone, the generic stuff.
Say again, sorry.
If after that paragraph they really want to contact me, they know where I live, they know what's my phone number.
Okay, so you can do the personal statement first and then your personal details. Yeah. Okay.
Then I was going with my education.
Yeah. And why did you pick education as the next section?
That's a big one.
Well,
I guess if I had to justify it, I'd say education because it's in terms of your credentials.
Okay.
So it's to show that you're not just coming out of nowhere and they need to know you've got you're qualified.
Something solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's always I don't know. I feel like that's the way I would see it. I want to know what you've done. I've got an MSc, I've got a PhD.
Yeah.
It's all about the leaders you can put next to your name. It's
okay, so it gives you some kind of academic credibility.
Yeah.
Is that something, because that wasn't something that came up when we talked about what that service would particularly want. Do you think in terms of this job, that feels like something that's important?
Well, I think if they're going to put me in front of people who are looking for something, I guess, I'd need to be able to say I've got something behind me. If I'm just, out of high school, like, hey, I'm helping you with your career. I know nothing about it, but I'll help you.
Yeah, okay. So the academic credentials feel quite important kind of within this context.
Yes.
But
well,
also
if it's in a university, I mean, it makes sense to.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
To prove I've gone to university.
I'm clever. Yeah. But also, I guess, when we were talking earlier about some of the stuff that makes you particularly suitable for the job, it was your academic stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was you studied psychology and you were studying career coaching.
Yes.
So that feels appropriate, doesn't it?
I don't know though if I would put down, because I just put like, I'm doing career coaching and I've done stuff in psychology, but I'm not sure if I need to, like, what I did for my volunteer history and employment, how I'm like saying this is what I've done and then writing a paragraph, it helped me with this and this and this.
Yeah.
Or is it enough to just say, well, I've done this and people are supposed to know what that means?
Work it out. So, for example, in terms of what? In terms of like the career coaching course?
Yeah, let's say I'm doing career coaching. I'm sort of like assuming that people know what career coaching is about.
Do you think that's, is that the right assumption?
Well, I don't think people know because a lot of the time when I talk about coaching, they're like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe if I talked again in terms of skills I'm using in there, that could help. So if I say, currently completing a MSc career coaching at UEL, which is helping me develop these skills and this and this and this and this and this. Yeah.
I think that could work. And also, when you were talking earlier, they were saying the two things you got from the course, and one of them's the knowledge about careers, and one of them's the skills.
Yeah.
So you could pick, Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. How far back have you gone in your education?
I said MSc, postgraduate diploma, bachelor, and the fact that I've completed year 12 in Youth Estonia.
Yeah. Does that feel like the right choice of what to put in?
I'm not sure there's any use in saying that I've completed high school, because if I've gone to university,
they probably work that out,
okay. Mostly likely to have completed that one. So I might, take that one out.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to check the time, Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously, inevitably, we've gone slightly over. What was that you were saying about time management being really important in career coaching? Let's just do just a tiny little bit more to wrap it up. When I listen to you now, I kind of think you've got it. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like it's. Yeah, I get it. It's really clear like what I'm supposed to do to actually, make myself wanted.
Okay.
In a way, so. Yeah.
I've got one last question for you then, so we won't talk about the content anymore.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask you about the layout and how it looked. What do you think about how it looks?
I think it needs more space.
Okay.
But I've been told that we're supposed to, just do it on one page and make it like short and stuff. So that's why
it's hard to do both.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the one page is the right choice?
Yes and no. Yes, because I know that if I was the one reading a resume and if it's like 5 pages long, I'm gonna be like, I'll read 1 page and that's it, move on. So it's either about trying to make that first page the best it can be, and then the rest, like basically the contact details could be on the second page.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could.
Because it doesn't really matter. Like if they want to contact you, they're going to keep going.
Yeah.
With the rest.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think it's about the organization and making everything you really want to stand out and really want to make you get the job on that first page.
Yeah.
And the rest is like sort of like talked about my interest and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what I like to do.
Okay.
Go on the next page. So making everything stand out 1 page and making like really more space between them.
So one option would be make it 2 pages.
Yeah.
And that would give you the chance to have it would have more impact because you could lay it out more.
Yeah. Or I was thinking now
about
making some sort of table in a way and talk about like one would be, what I've done, like so education, work and whatever.
Yeah.
The second one would be what I've actually done in that field, and then the third one would be the skills I've used in that.
Oh, that sounds quite neat.
So yeah, that could be something to think about. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that.
Okay, there are some options to play with, aren't there?
Yeah, I'll try one and see how it looks, and if it looks better,
Yeah.
do it.
Brilliant. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch the recording off now. Thank
Cool.
you. Oh, actually, we weren't too bad. That was half an